Welcome to the update for the laws of the game for the 2019-2020 season. The full laws are available on the App Store, on the Google Play Store site at www.vifab.com. A direct free kick where you only need one touch of the ball, and an indirect free kick where you need 2 touches. No offense. A player may directly kick the ball to the goal. The goalkeeper grazes the ball, barely touches the ball. This counts as a touch, and if this was an indirect free kick, this would count as a goal. So, let's get some terminology and definitions. You'll hear this terminology a lot, and refer to these slides if you do get confused. Talking about indirect free kicks, the indirect free kick signal does not need to be maintained if it's clear that a goal cannot be scored directly from the free kick. The yellow and red card. Even after play has restarted, the referee may issue the yellow card or red card for previous incidents if another match official had attempted to communicate it. Please note that this does not change the restart. The referee can delay the yellow card or red card if the non-offending team benefits from a quick free kick. There must be a clear goal scoring opportunity, and also the referee must have not started the disciplinary sanction procedure. In the old laws of the game, which is at the bottom, highlighted by red, if the offense was DOGSO, the player is cautioned. If the referee decides to use this option, the non-offending team has technically used their advantage and the player is cautioned. Also, the IFAB clarified a weirdly worded sentence in the laws of the game: illegal handball offenses by a goalkeeper in their own penalty area. This includes what's colloquially referred to as the pass-back rule, the 6 seconds rule, the double touch rule, and the picking up a throw-in rule. Is never a yellow card or red card. The red card, reason for a red card, at the bottom directly from the laws of the game, says a red card is given if the team denies the opposing team a goal or an obvious goal scoring opportunity by a handball offense. But please note that it says except a goalkeeper within their penalty area. So these are the indirect free kick offenses by the goalkeeper in their own penalty area that we talked about from the last slide. This is just to give you a specific wording of the law and to also introduce a change. So let's read it. After looking into the change, it will be the next slide. We'll talk about goalkeeper miss kicks and how that will not be penalized if after a throw-in or deliberate kick from a teammate, the goalkeeper unsuccessfully kicks or tries to kick the ball to release it into play. The goalkeeper can handle the ball. But this is my explanation to why I think the law is put in place. Many times there are uneven fields, bumpy fields, which may lead the ball to change directions. And the old passback or the old picking up a throw-in law was not meant to punish goalkeepers, but to decrease time wasting. Players would pass it back to the goalkeeper multiple times. The goalkeeper would pick it up multiple times a game if they were winning. So that's why this law was put into place. And I think understanding why this law was put into place will help you apply the spirit of the game. Usually the key things to see when this happens, if the ball goes behind the goalkeeper, or opponents nearby, Also, a big change in the laws of the game is that team officials can now be shown the yellow card and red card. In the United States, we've previously used and therefore highlighted in red the ask, tell, dismiss system for coaches. This case explanation that the IFAB gave was very interesting. The IFAB also has introduced a new system for yellow card and red card and warning codes, and I think it's important, so we'll go in review them in full. So when an offense is committed and the offender cannot be identified, the senior team coach present in the technical area will receive the sanction. But for a warning, the following offenses should usually result in a warning. Repeated or blatant offenses should result in a caution or sending off. Entering the field of play in a respectful or non-confrontational manner. Occasionally leaving the confines of the technical area without committing another offense. Those are warnings. Here we'll talk about cautions. Caution offenses include, but of course are not limited to, clearly or persistently not respecting the confines of the team's technical area, and showing lack of respect for the game, which I feel like is anything that the referee wants to define it to. Next, we'll talk about the send-off offenses. In this slide, we'll be talking about sending off offenses. Sending off offenses include, but are not limited to, delaying the restart of play by the opposing team. Usually, if their team is winning, they would want to slow down the other team from scoring. This includes holding onto the ball, kicking the ball away, and obstructing the movement of a player. This send-off. Deliberate throwing / kicking an object onto the field of play is a send-off. Also continuing, entering the field of play to confront a match official, including at halftime and full time, is a send-off. Violent conduct. Another change in the laws of the game is with the coin toss. The team that wins the coin toss decides which goal to attack in the first half, or to kick off in the first half. The other team is left with the unpicked option. Yes, you can score directly off a kickoff. Another rule change is a player who's being substituted must leave the field at the nearest point on the boundary line. Please note that if you have the referee's permission, you can leave the field at any point. You may need this for safety reasons, mostly injuries I would believe, or higher level games maybe security reasons. Here's a little animation. Everybody's leaving towards the closest touch line or goal line or boundary line. So it's supposed to speed up the game, stop time wasting. The drop ball procedure has also changed. If the last touch of the ball was in the penalty area, or play is stopped when the ball is in the penalty area, the ball is dropped to the defending goalkeeper in their penalty area. In all other cases, which would be most cases, the referee dropped the ball to one. Notice that's underlined because one and only one player of the team that last touched the ball. Notice the one player only, and both teams must be 4.5 yards or 4 meters away from the ball until the ball touches the ground. When the ball touches the ground, the ball is in play. A goal cannot be scored directly from a dropped ball. A dropped ball is given from the place where the ball touches the match official. Note the match official will be the center referee, the assistant referee, the fourth official, any match official. And the ball remains into the field of play, and the ball must go directly into the goal, so the referee cannot score a goal, unfortunately, or position the ball changes, or a promising attack starts. It's a pretty big law. Note in all other cases that the referee is part of the field of play. goal kick or free kick in the penalty area for the defending team. The ball is in play once it's kicked and clearly moves. The kicked and clearly moves part is new. In the past, it had to leave the penalty area before it was in play. Many people did not know this. Defending players may be in their penalty area before the ball is in play. They do not need to be out of the penalty area. They are able to defend the goal if needed. Attacking players need to be out of the penalty area and they must be 10 yards away from the ball. And talking about field restrictions, except for penalty kicks and dot balls, that is underlined because that was not the way it was last year. The field restriction does not apply to the team that is restarting. So down below I listed all the other restarts that there are: kickoffs, goal kicks, corner kicks, throw-ins, free kicks. The team that has taken the restart can be anywhere except for kickoffs. You need to be on your side of the field. All opponents must stand at least 2 meters or 2 yards from the point on the touchline where the throw-in is to be taken. So this is for the run up. You don't need to wait for a signal or a whistle to do a restart, example for corner kicks especially, except for penalty kicks and kickoffs. When a goal kick is taken, any opponents are inside the penalty area because they do not have time to leave. The referee allows play to continue. For penalty kicks, we have some changes. If a penalty kick is rewarded, the person, if they're injured, they can get treatment and take the penalty kick. It's the most fair thing. The referee must not signal unless if the goalkeeper is touching the crossbar, net, or goal posts. They aren't shake them, kick them around, especially for a goal post with a weak structure. This is very important. The defending goalkeeper must remain on the goal line and until they must do that, and without touching the goal post, crossbar, goal net, until the ball has been kicked. So another thing is that I found clarified that blowing the whistle for a penalty kick does not mean the ball is in play. It's only when the ball is kicked that the ball becomes in play. So there's an offense that occurs between when the referee blows their whistle for the penalty kick to be taken and when the penalty kick is taken. You can still take disciplinary action, and the restart penalty still needs to be taken either way. Handball. The official terminology has been changed from handling the ball or deliberate handball to handball offense, if you want to be accurate. They also gave a whole section which we'll go over. It is an offense if a player deliberately touches the ball with their hand or arm, including moving the hand/arm towards the ball. If they gain possession or control of the ball after it has touched their hand or arm, and then scores in the opponent's goal or creates a goal scoring opportunity. Scores in the opponent's goal directly from their hand or arm, even if accidental, including the goalkeeper. Please note that this law doesn't protect them if they player scores on themselves. It is usually an offense, note that, some room for interpretation, if a player touches the ball with their hand/arm when the hand has been made or their body unnaturally bigger. Then a lot of interpretation there, and the hand or arm is above or beyond their shoulder level, unless the player deliberately plays the ball, which then touches their hand or arm. So that second part in parentheses I feel like is the most important level. Do you want to punish unless if the player plays the ball with their body, then touches their hand or arm? It depends on the deliberateness. There's a lot of gray area here. The phrase above offenses include offenses from this slide and the last slide. I just took this from laws of the game, so it's not exact. The above offenses apply even if the ball touches a player's hand or arm directly from the head or body, including the foot or another player who is close. Because these are more deliberate motions that actively block the ball. So the new laws are taking a closer look at the effect a player has due to handball rather than the handball itself. Except for the above offenses, which is the offenses from the last slide and the slide before that, it's not usually an offense if the ball touches a player's hand or arm directly from the player's own head or body, including the foot, directly from the head or body, including the foot, or another player who is close. If the hand or arm is close to the body and does not make the body unnaturally bigger. And then really important, when the player falls down and the hand or arm is between the body and the ground to support the body, but is not extended laterally, just sideways, or vertically, just up or down, away from the body. So this is not meant to punish players who are not trying to block the ball, making a last-ditch effort, but in an honest manner. So, to be consistent with the rewording on handball, which is the explanation they gave above, if the goalkeeper throws the ball directly into the opponent's goal, a goal kick is awarded to the opposing team. So punting is still allowed, dropping is still allowed. Player throws a ball to their head and then heads into the other goal. This is still allowed. I found it interesting that this was Law 10 determining the outcome of the match and not in Law 12. I wouldn't think it's a big problem unless you're playing on a really small field or at the youth field. And it's been consistent with the rewording of handball. Other changes that may be important, probably more for the pro or higher level games, is that when there's a defensive wall of at least 3 players, all attacking team players must be at least 1 meter from the wall until the ball is in play. It's punished by an indirect free kick. Also, the yellow card for an illegal goal celebration remains even if the goal is disallowed. All verbal offenses are penalized with an indirect free kick, so even if it's a red card, vulgar language at the referee, it's still punished with an indirect free kick if the ball was in play when the vulgar language was said. Patterned or multicolored undershirts whose sleeves are the same as the main shirt sleeve are allowed, and kicking an object is punished in the same way as throwing an object. Thanks for watching this presentation. Feel free to contact me with questions about the laws, fun comments, experiences, and any errors I might have made in the presentation. I look forward to hearing from you, and until next year.